Alright, so I hope that you guys have done the rest of the problem. Okay, this is very important Sebab apa tahu? From the questions you guys can know what is your weakness in this topic, and then we can review the stuff together. And normally the kind of questions that will come out in your exam will be similar to this. Okay, dia akan jadi similar to this lah. So be careful, alright. We do this slowly. Kita buat ni sama-sama. Kita buat ni slowly. And then pay attention to each question. If you guys don't understand any of it, let me know. Okay, and let's see the penting sikit. Okay, if you don't understand why I do the steps that I did, let me know. Okay, I will help you guys to understand it lah. Alright, so I think we have done question number 1, question number 2, and also question number 3. And just to let you know, dekat question number 1 ni, last week last week waktu kita try to discuss this, you know, Emily dia kata kat I, fx is function. Then f prime x ni apa? So f prime x ni is referring to a function that you have differentiated. So kalau you dah differentiate it once, you letak one apostrophe dekat atas tu. Kalau you dah differentiate twice, you letak 2 apostrophe dekat atas tu lah. Okay, so let us continue with question number 4. So in question number 4, dia kata the normal to the curve y equivalent to x square minus 6x plus 3 at point Q is parallel to the straight line y equivalent to negative 1 over 2 x plus 5. Find the equation of the normal to the curve at point Q. Now, to make it much more easier to understand, let us draw first. Apa nama? Y equivalent to x square minus 6x plus 3. Korang buat nak draw ni kan, you tak payah nak serabut sangat pun. Just draw je satu line macam ni. Okay, because we don't know where is the point. This is just a sketch to help us understand the problem better. So dia kata, the normal to the curve y equivalent to x square minus 6x plus 3 at point Q. Okay, senang cerita, dia kata kita ada point Q. Lepas tu dia kata normal to the curve. Normal is 90 degrees to the tangent, okay, of the point. So you draw dulu a tangent. So this is the tangent. Normal is somewhat like this. Ni normal. This is normal. So dia kata apa dekat sini? The normal to the curve is y equivalent to negative 1 over 2x plus 5. So this is y equivalent to negative 1 over 2x plus 5. Okay. Then dia suruh kita cari, find the equation of the normal to the curve at point Q. Okay, sorry. Dia kata, ni bukan y equivalent to negative 1 over 2x plus 5. Dia kata, the normal line ni, this normal line is parallel to another line, which is y equivalent to negative 1 over 2x plus 5. Now the problem wants us to find the equation of the normal to the curve at point Q. Dia suruh kita cari what is the equation of this point. Okay, this is actually quite lengthy lah problem ni. Sebab apa? Dia bagi kita satu equation which is x square plus minus 6x plus 3. Okay. X square minus 6x plus 3. So this x square minus 6x plus 3, if I differentiate this, let me find the dy dx. If I differentiate this, I dapat 2x minus 6. And this differentiated equation represents the gradient of tangent, meaning that dia adalah gradient at any given point. So sekarang ni, I dah stuck. Sebab apa? Sebab sekarang ni, I don't know what is the value of x. I have no idea what is the value of x at point Q. Q ni tak tahu apa x dia. And I tak tahu coordinate xy dia. So our first step is to find x. Alright, find the value of the coordinate Q. So how do we do that? Well, we are given this equation over here, negative 1 over 2x plus 5. dia kata ini gradient. Gradient dia adalah -1/2. So dia kata kalau dia kata the two lines are parallel, so mestilah gradient ni pun -1/2. Kan? And remember, M1, M2 equivalent to -1. So if M2 is -1/2, then our M1, which is the gradient of the tangent, would be M1 multiply dengan -1/2 equivalent to -1. So kiranya M1 kita akan dapat 2 lah. So sekarang ni kita dah tahu that this gradient over here is 2. How do we get to? Kita dapat daripada -1/2 ni. So M1 is equivalent to 2, which is also equivalent to dy over dx. So dy over dx kita is 2 equivalent to 2x minus 6. Solving for this, we already get our x value equivalent to 4. Oh, okay, bagus. Kita dah dapat dah value coordinate x is equivalent to 4. Sekarang ni kita kena cari pula apa value of y. So how do I find y? Simple. You cari equation yang mana yang you can find y. Ada satu je equation yang you boleh cari y for of the curve, which is this. Y equivalent to x square minus 6x plus 3. So apa yang I kena buat sekarang ni is substitute the value of x equivalent to 4 into this. So I dapat 4 square minus 6 times 4 plus 3. Now solving for this, I should get 16 minus 24 plus 3. So 16 plus 3 is 19. 19 minus 24 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5. Okay? -5. So sekarang ni, I dah tahu dah that the coordinate of Q is equivalent to 4 and -5. What should I do next? I want to find the normal. Normal. Kalau nak cari equation of normal equation, I can use y minus y1 equivalent to mx minus x1. I already know that Q punya coordinate is 4, -5, and I already know that this normal punya gradient is parallel to this line over here, which is -1/2. Now, solving for this, I should get y minus -5, -1/2. X kita is berapa? X minus x1, 4. So y plus 5 equivalent to -x/2 plus 2. Y equivalent to -x/2 -3. Nah, this is your answer. Okay. Is there anything yang korang tak faham so far? The first step is to find the coordinate of Q, and the second step baru kita cari the equation of the normal. The way that we try to use this, kita try to visualize dulu. Okay, Megat. Boleh, Megat. Okay. Emily? So far okay, Emily?
Okay.
Alright, yeah. Okay. Now, let's go on to the next question. The point P lies on the curve y equivalent to 2x minus 3 square. It is given that the gradient of the normal at P is -1/4. Find the coordinates of P. Now, question number 5 is similar to question number 4. Like what we did, try to draw first. Draw, tak payah nak betul ke salah ke. Just draw je. But first of all, I nak tukar dulu yang ni into, I nak expand je. So 2 kuasa 2 is 4, x kuasa 2. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. Negative 6x times 2 is negative 12x. Alright, and this one is 9. Okay. So agak-agak macam ni je buat je. Lepas tu dia kata kat sini this is point P. So this is the gradient of point P and this is the normal. Okay. Dia kata the gradient of the normal M2 is equivalent to negative 1 over 4. So you dah tahu dah gradient of normal. Definitely you can find what is M1. Betul tak? Korang dah boleh cari dah apa value of M1. So find dulu M1. M1 times M2 equivalent to negative 1. So M1 multiply by M2 is negative 1 over 4. Negative 1. So M1 korang is equivalent to 4. Okay. So M1 is the gradient of the tangent. Now what is also the gradient of tangent? dy dx. Betul tak? dy dx is also the gradient of tangent. So apa yang I boleh buat sekarang ni is I do dy dx for this equation. So y equivalent to 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Once I do dy dx, I should get 8x minus 12. Okay. So now this 8x minus 12, I boleh buat 8x minus 12 ni equivalent to dy over dx, and it is also equivalent to our M1, sama juga dengan 4 value dia. So 8x minus 12 is equivalent to 4. 16, 8x, x is equivalent to 2. Okay. Dah tahu x is equivalent to 2. That is the coordinate for P lah. P ni you dah tahu dah. XU adalah 2. So you find an equation where you can get the value of y. Tahu dah kan? Sinilah y. Y equivalent to 2x minus 3 kuasa 2. So masuk je, substitute je the value of x. Okay. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 square is 1. Okay. So your coordinate of P would be 2, 1, settle. Yang ni slightly easier than before. But still, the concept is the same. Kalau korang tengok, sama je kan cara kita buat tu. Cuma dia tukar sikit je. Okay. Any question that you guys want to ask?
Sir.
Yes.
Sorry, nak tanya. Kan M1, M2 equals to negative 1. Why is that?
That one is the formula to relate between normal and tangent. Yang tu memang dia punya relationship dia.
But kan given that the gradient of the normal at P is negative 1 over 4. If dia kata the gradient of the normal means that is memang M2.
Yes, yang tu M2. Dia punya normal.
Okay. Alright.
So M1 is the tangent, M2 is the normal. Alright. Dia ada reason why dia 90. Tapi korang tak belajar what's the reason. So you just remember the relationship je lah. M1, M2 equivalent to negative 1. Okay, and then for 6 ni hari tu kita dah tengok dah the question. Alright. So I'm just going to skip that. Yeah, let's have a look at question number 7. So dia kata kat sini that the curve y equivalent to 10 plus 6x minus x square has a maximum point. Okay, remember kalau dia kata maximum point, dy over dx equivalent to 0. Okay, dy dx equivalent to 0. At x is equivalent to p, where p is a constant, find the value of p. Well, this is a straightforward question. Kenapa I kata this is a straightforward question? Because all you need to do is just buat dy dx equivalent to 0 and find the value of x. Itu saja. Because dia kata kat sini, x is equivalent to p. So, senang cerita, y equivalent to 10 plus 6x minus x square. Then we do dy over dx is equivalent to 6 negative 2x. Okay. Then, since dia kata it is a maximum point, kita buat 0 lah. Okay. Then 2x is equivalent to 6, x is equivalent to 3. And dia dah kata kat sini that x is equivalent to p. So p is also equivalent to 3. That's it. Okay, straightforward. Kalau dia tukar kat sini minimum point, sama je. Okay, maximum, minimum, turning point, critical point, those are referring to dy over dx equivalent to 0. Okay, now the volume V centimeter cube of water in a vessel is given by V equivalent to 450 H minus 45 H square, where HCm is the height of water in the vessel. So calculate the value of H when V is maximum. All right, we need to find the value of H when V is maximum. You see, maximum. So again, maximum refers to dy over dx equivalent to 0. But in this case, it would be dv over dh. Change in volume with respect to height. dv over dh equivalent to 0. So our first step is to actually differentiate the equation and make it equivalent to 0 and find the value of h. That is for the A. So we do this by, okay, let's use a different color. V equivalent to 450h minus 45h square. We differentiate it. dv over dh is equivalent to 450 minus with 45 times 2. 45 times 2 is 90 minus 90h. Alright, 450 minus 90h. Now again, kita kata, okay, we want to find when the V is maximum. So we make this equivalent to 0. dv dh equivalent to 0. Solving for this, we should get 90h equivalent to 450. 45 divided by 9, 3, 4, 5. 5 kan? Dapat 5 meters, 5 centimeter. You should get 5 centimeters over here. So settle A. Right, A dah settle. H equivalent to 5 centimeter. Now B, they ask you the maximum volume. So kalau maximum volume, you must use the maximum height lah, betul tak? Okay, if you want to find the maximum volume, then everything must be maximum. So your height is also maximum. So the maximum volume of water in the vessel would be V equivalent to 450. You substitute balik the value of 5 minus 45, 5 kuasa 2. Okay, so, let me find my calculator. 450 times 5 minus 45 is 5 square. You guys should get 1125. Okay, centimeter cubic. Dah settle. Plug and chug. Settle for question number 8. Any questions so far? Okay, all clear. Emily, are you fine with this question?
Okay.
All right, cool. Now, number 9. Given that y is equivalent to 2x squared minus 6x plus 3, find the value of dy over dx when x is equivalent to 2. Okay, this is a straightforward question. Okay, let's do this together. Lah. So dy over dx when x equivalent to 2. So you take y, you find the dy dx. This one is equivalent to 4x. 2 kali 2, 4, 4x tolak 6. Therefore x minus 6. Then you make it your x is equivalent to 2. So 4 times 2 minus 6. 4 kali 2, 8. 8 turun 2, 6. So 8 minus 6 is just 2 lah. Okay. So you get your answer 2 over here. Alright, straightforward. Just enter the value. Now, express the small change in y in terms of h when x changes from 2 to 2 minus h, where h is a small value. Now, do you guys still remember small change tak? Ingat tak dulu kita dapat ajar dy over dx is equivalent to the small change of y divided by the small change of x. Okay, this is a formula that we have discussed the other week. Alright, so let me, okay, to those yang baru nampak the formula, okay, when ada je soalan approximation or small change, okay, bila dia minta je these are the keywords, small change, small value, you remember this formula. dy dy is equivalent to delta y over delta x. So dy over ds is equivalent to delta y is y prime minus y over x prime minus x. Y prime is new value of y. X prime is new value of x. Y old value, y, x is old value x. Okay. So this is how you use the formula, and dy over dx is what you get from the equation lah. Okay, what you get from the equation. Okay, now how do I do this? Okay, dia kata kat sini, dia nak kita cari express the small change in y. So technically, what they want is delta y tau. They want delta y. So we can remain this form. We don't have to go to the extended form of this formula, right? Sebab dia minta delta y je. So just a little bit of mathematics, you know that delta y is actually equivalent to dy over dx equivalent to delta times delta x. Okay, you know this already. Okay, kita tukar-tukar je. Okay, sekarang ni, let's find dy over dx first. Okay, this is a trick tau. There's a trick to do the dy dx. You tengok kat sini, dia kata x changes from 2 to 2 minus h. What is the old value and what is the new value? Okay, x prime, Bagai, do you think, okay, x prime 2 ke 2 minus h?
2 minus h.
Yes, x prime is 2 minus h. And then you have x. Your x is 2. Okay, x is 2. So x prime is 2 minus h and your x is equivalent to 2. Now, we can already find delta x, betul tak? Because delta x is just x prime minus x and x prime minus x. So we can do that already. Delta x is equivalent to 2 minus h minus 2. So 2 minus 2 is negative h. Okay. Now let's find our dy dx. Now the trick for dy dx is always to use the old value. Okay. Bila you ada dy over dx, you ada dy over dx which is this equation over here kan. Y equivalent to 2x square minus 6x plus 3. When you differentiate, you substitute the old value of x, which in this case is 2. 2. Okay, the old value is 2. Okay, do you sort of understand? You ambil the equation, differentiate it, and then you put in, substitute the old value of x. In this case, is 2. But do we need to find dy over dx? Ya, kita cari dah pun dy over dx kat sini. Okay, so you just substitute je the value that you get over here. Ambil je value daripada atas. So dy over dx is equivalent to 2. Alright. Now, apa kita boleh buat is kita boleh substitute the equation already. Delta y is equivalent to dy over dx is 2 multiplied with delta x, which is negative h. So our delta y value is equivalent to negative 2h. Settle. Alright. Okay, do you guys have any question that you guys want to ask? Alright. Now, have you guys managed to salin everything already? Dah? Can we proceed? Okay. Let's go over question number 10. Two variables x and y are related by the equation y equivalent to 4x plus 6 over x. Now, given that y increases at a constant rate of 3 units per second, find the rate of change of x when x equivalent to 2. Now, whenever you hear rate of change, you know that you have to use chain rule. Chain rule. Okay, chain rule. Now, what is chain rule? You want to find dy over dx, tapi you get dy over dx by dy over dt times dt over dx. So as you can see over here, dy over dx kita boleh dapat from differentiating y in terms of t and multiplying it with t with respect to differentiate t with respect to x. Now, how do we put this in context? Okay, how do we put this in context? Dia macam ni. T over here is referring to time. Okay, T ni refers to time. So this is actually the change in y with respect to time. Yang ni dy over dx is the change of y with respect to x. dt over dx is the change of time with respect to x. Okay, so remember, atas is always change of apa with respect to apa. So even I kata dv over dh means the change of volume with respect to height. Okay, ds over dt, the change of distance or displacement with respect to time. Okay, so these are just a few ways lah for you to know kan some stuff that you need to know. Okay, sekarang ni back to chain rule. Chain rule, to answer chain rule, you need to find these three important clues. Alright, I would call it as clue. First, what is given? Number two, what is asked? Number three, formula / equation. Okay, apa benda ni? Yeah. Remember, semua ni T ni refers to respect to time. So tengok dekat sini, dia kata two variable x and y are related by the equation y equivalent to 4x plus 6 over x. Now guys, this is apa? This is the formula or the equation. So you guys put a small note over there. y equivalent to 4x plus 6 over x. Okay. Alamak, I don't like lah this 4x plus 6 over x ni. Tak apa, 6 over x boleh guna. X bawah atas negative 1. Negative 1 minus 1. Okay, yeah, sure. Boleh bawa. Alright. Number 2, what is given? See, given that y increases at a constant rate of 3 unit per second. So what is given is positive 3 unit per second. Okay, 3 unit per second. This is referring to dy over dt. Kenapa I kata dy over dt? Because here dia kata y increases at a constant rate. So this is referring to the change in y is positive 3 per second. Okay. And finally, what is asked? What is asked is that the rate of change of x when x is equivalent to 2. So what they want is they want us to find dx over dt when x is equivalent to 2. Now, in order for us to do this, we have to take what is asked, which is dx over dt, and we try to obtain dx over dt from dy over dt and dy over dx. Okay, so dx over dt kita boleh dapat dengan ambil dx over dy multiply with dy over dt. So as you can see, if I cancel these two together, we will get dx over dt, which is the same as this. Now we have to find dx over dy. We can do that, okay, we can do that, but first we have to differentiate y equivalent to 4x plus 6 over x. So when I differentiate dy over dx, I should get 4 and then 6 over x ni dia jadi apa? 6 over x ni jadi 6. Ni jadi 6x negative 1 kan? So negative 1 is that you bring the negative down, negative 6, x minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 jadi x negative 2. Alright, so I got 4 minus 6 over x squared over here. Okay, so this is dy over dx. Now dia dah kata kat sini that x is equivalent to 2. So you substitute x equivalent to 2 in this equation. So dy over dx you will be equivalent to 4 minus 6 over 2 square. So you should get 2.5 over here. Should get 2.5. And then now what we can do is we can just substitute the values. So dia minta dx over dt is equivalent to dx over dy. Here we have dy over dx. Kita boleh terbalik the value. So dx over dy will just be 1 over 2.5. Just terbalik je the value. 1 over 2.5 multiply with dy over dt. So our dy over dt is positive 3. So 3 over 2.5, you should get 6 over 5, or you should get 1.2 unit per second. Okay, do you guys understand this? Chain rule. First timer is okay. Try to digest this dulu. And we will try to do more question lepas ni regarding to chain rule. Okay, we will proceed. It is given that y equivalent to 10 over x minus 4. Find the small change in x in terms of p when the value of y changes from 6 to 6 plus p. P small change punya question. So you guys write dy over dx is equivalent to delta y over delta x. Now it is said here, okay, so it is said here that y changes from 6 to 6 plus p. So delta y is equivalent to 6 plus p minus dengan 6. So here you should get p. Okay, betul delta y, new value minus the old value. Okay, now do we know the small change in x? No, we don't know. We want to find that. So ada satu je yang kita kena cari, which is dy dx. Now the dy over dx, first we have to differentiate this equation lah. So when we differentiate this equation, we get negative 10 over x square. Okay, this is what we get, negative 10 over x square. Alright. Now dia kata apa ni? Okay. Dia kata find the small change in x in terms of p. If the value of y changes from 6 to 6 plus p. So dia kata kat sini, hold on, y equivalent to dy over dx. So we need to substitute the value of x actually. Tapi sekarang ni we don't have any value for x. So like hold on. Kita ambil negative 10 over x square. Okay, 10 over x square. Okay. Alright. Okay. Our problem right now is we need to substitute the value of x. Betul tak? Kita kena substitute the value of x. But sekarang ni kita tak ada value of x. Betul tak? The old x, we don't have the old x. But we can find the old x. We can find from the old y. This 6 punya value. How? You have this equation kan, y equivalent to 10 over x minus 4. You try solving for x using that equation. Substitute a value of 6 into the equation. So dia jenis ni 6 equivalent to 10 over x minus 4. Okay, nampak So 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 is equivalent to 10 over x. So x is just equivalent to 1. Alright, so that is your old value of x. And this old value of x, you letak dalam this equation over here. So dy over dx is equivalent to negative 10 over 1 square. Which you will also get dy over dx equivalent to negative 10. Now, you dah tahu dah, the only thing left is to find the value of delta x. So dy over dx is negative 10. Delta y is p. And delta x is unknown. So negative 10 delta x is equivalent to p. Delta x is just p over negative 10. Okay? This is a tricky question. Sebab apa? Dia tak bagi tahu you the value of x. So you have to find your value of x from y. And remember, you find it from using the old value of y. The old value of y will give you the old value of x. See, when you do questions, it gets better kan? Lagi faham benda ni. Alright. Two variables x and y are related by the equation y equivalent to 6x plus 4 over x. Now, given that y decreases at a constant rate of 10 units per second, find the rate of change of x when x equivalent to 2. So remember, this is a rate of change question. So to find rate of change question, to solve for rate of change question, you need to ask yourself these three questions. What is asked, what is given, and formula or equation. So what is given over here is that y decreases at a constant rate of 10 units per second. So it is given over here that dy over dt is equivalent to negative 10. Kenapa I letak negative 10? Because dia kata dia decrease. Right? It is decreasing at the constant rate of 10 units per second. Okay, unit per second. Now, what is asked over here is dx over dt, rate of change of x. So dia minta dx over dt when x is equivalent to 2. And finally, you have your equation. Your equation is you have to find the dy dx. And then you substitute x equivalent to 2. Alright, so let's do that. Let's find dy over dx first. So our dy over dx is 6 negative 4 over x squared. Then substitute x equivalent to 2. You should get 6 minus 4 over 2 square. So 4 over 4 is just 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. So you dapat value of dy over dx is equivalent to 5. Alright. Now let us find dx over dt. So to find dx over dt, the first one kena ada dx. So you find dx. So dx ada dekat dy over dx. So dia jadi dx over dy. Multiply with, find anything that has dt in between these three. Mana ada dt apart from dx over dt? Dy over dt kan? So you substitute the value of dy dt dalam ni. You make sure that's correct. Cancel, you get dx over dt, similar to the left hand side. Okay, so what you need to do is just substitute the value. Dx over dy, okay, dy over dx is 5, so dx over dy would be 1 over 5. Dy over dt is negative 10. So you kali semua ni, you dapat negative 2 unit per second. That's it. The value of dx over dt is negative 2 unit per second. Okay, understand? Alright, cool. Okay, the surface area of a block of ice in the form of a sphere with radius j melt at the rate of 6.4 pi centimeter cube per second. Find the rate of change of the radius at the instant when j is equivalent to 2. This is a slightly harder question, alright, harder question in the sense of when you review the three questions, kan kita ada dx, kan kita ada what is asked, what is given, and the formula. So what is given over here? Dia kata given is 6.4 pi centimeter cube as negative y. Betul tak? That is what is given. And dia kata dekat sini that the block of ice melts. So kalau melts, meaning that it is decreasing in size. So kalau dia decreasing in size, you have to put negative in front of it. Okay, so now what is this centimeter cube per second? Is it dy over dt or is it dx over dt? Apa dia? So the way that you can recognize this is by looking at the units. You see centimeter cube. Centimeter cube refer to apa? What does centimeter cube refers to? Megat, do you want to try? What does centimeter cube? Centimeter square refers to?
Square.
Centimeter square. Centimeter
That's centimeter square is area. Okay.
area, yes, betul, area. So this is actually the change in area over time. Betul tak? Centimeter square over second time. So This is actually dA over dt. So dA over dt is negative 6.4 pi. Okay, nampak dekat situ. Plus dia dah kata dah, surface area melts at the rate of 6.4. So that sort of give you an idea of what is the equation bro, dA over dt ke, dx over dt ke. So you look at the unit. Now they ask you to find the rate of change of the radius. So radius is just dr, radius, change of radius over time. So they ask you to find dr over dt. Ni macam mana ni? Okay, kita ada surface area. Okay. Then kita ada radius. Now, how do we relate? Okay, how do we relate these two equation together? Kita ada lagi satu, formula or equation. Alright, kita ada satu lagi, formula atau equation. So how That's the question I want to ask you. Okay, kita fikir dulu. Alright, this one is dA over dt, dr over dt. Okay, dia dah kata dah dekat in front ni, surface area. So this is like a clue that you have to use the formula of surface area of a sphere. Okay, you kena guna surface area of a sphere. A is equivalent to apa? What's the surface area of a sphere? I bet you guys pun tak ingat kan what is the surface area of a sphere. Okay, so the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. Remember this. The surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. So you have to differentiate this. When you differentiate this, you get dA over dr equivalent to 8 pi r. The pi, you consider it as a constant. So when you consider it as a constant, dia tak involved in the differentiation. The thing that is involved is the r. So r square, the power from the r, you bring it down minus with 1. Now, dia kata, they want you to find dr over dt when r is equivalent to 2. So you kena substitute r equivalent to 2 dalam ni. So dA over dr is equivalent to 16 pi. Okay, 16 pi centimeter cube per meter. Okay, centimeter cube per centimeter sebenarnya. dA over dr kan. Change. Okay. Now, we need to find dr over dt. dr over dt is equivalent to, kita kena cari apa yang ada dr dekat, apa yang ada dr. So, kalau you look carefully, dA over dt has no dr, but dA over dr ada dr. So, you put dr over dA. Okay? Times with, you have to find what has t dekat bawah. So the one that has t kat bawah is dA over dt. So you take dA divided by dt. Now you see how the dA will cancel each other. See, when the dA cancel each other, you get dr over dt, which is similar to the left hand side. So you know that what you are doing is correct. Okay, you know that what you are doing is correct. So dr over dA is simply just change the direction. Change atas bawah. So jadi 1 over 16 pi multiply with negative 6.4 pi. Luckily, the pi cancel each other. So you just kira 1 over 15 times with negative 6.4. Okay, negative 6.4. Which you get negative 0.4. Okay, what's the unit? centimeter per second. Why? Sebab radius is in centimeter and time is in second. So centimeter per second. Okay? Better kan sekarang? Yeah. Now 14 is similar to 13. So I will leave this to you for you guys to do. Question number 14. You guys can always refer to 13 if you don't know. All right. Let's do another one more question of our rate of change. Okay. The volume of oil, I centimeter cube, in a container is given by I equivalent to 1 over 2 h to the power of 4 plus 6h, where h centimeter is the height of the oil in the container, and the oil is poured into the container at the rate of 11 centimeter cube per second. So find the rate of change of the height of oil in centimeter per second at the instant when its height is 2 centimeter. Okay, again, we have to give we have to find the three y. The three y. What is given, what is asked, and what is the formula. So what is given over here is that 11 centimeter cube per second. Okay, so you know that since it is centimeter cube per second, so you know that it is dV over dt. So your dV over dt is negative 11. The volume of oil, negative 11 11. Sebab apa? Because it is being poured. So kalau dia poured, maksudnya the volume makin lama makin kurang. It gets kurang lah, it decreases. So negative 11 centimeter cube per second. And then they want us to find the rate of change of the height of the oil. So kita nak cari dH over dt when h is equivalent to 2 centimeter. And lastly, we need to get the value from the formula, which is I, equivalent to 1 over 2 h to the power of 4 plus 6h. Now, the volume tadi dia kata I kan, so kita padam yang ni So jadi di. Okay, better that way. So di over dh is equivalent to 4 times 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2h to the power of 3 plus 6. So h is equivalent to 2. So 2 times 2 to the power of 3 plus 6, you get 22 over here. Centimeter cube per second. So what we need to do is we need to find dH over dt. dH over dt is just dH over di times di over dt. So dH over di is 1 over 22. Multiply with di over dt is negative 11. So negative 11 over 22, we get negative 0.5 centimeter per second. So this is your di over dt. Okay? Sama kan? If you look carefully at the pattern, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. It has the same pattern over here. All right. Let's take a 2 or 3 minutes break. Okay, and then we shall continue with 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so we are, let's take a 3-minute break lah. We'll come back at 7 p.m. Okay. Okay, so now let's go over question number 16. Given that hx is equivalent to 4 over 2x minus 5 square, evaluate h double prime 1. Okay, so first of all, you guys have to differentiate it lah. You guys have to differentiate it twice, and then you enter the value of x equivalent to 1 into the double differentiated equation. So the way that you guys can do this is by taking hx. Okay, this is hx is equivalent to 4 multiplied with 2x minus 5 negative 2. So you differentiate it once, you bring negative 2 in front. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. 2x minus 5, negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And don't forget to differentiate the 2x minus 5. So differentiating 2x minus 5, you guys should get 2. Okay. Then you simplify, you should get negative 16 over 2x minus 5 negative 3. Now, you differentiate it one more time, h double prime x, you should get negative 16. Okay, so you differentiate it another one more time, negative 3 goes down, so negative 16 times 3, you should get negative 48 over, times 2x minus 5, negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4, differentiate whatever is inside 2x minus 5, you should get 2. Okay, you should get 2. 2x minus 5 dapat 2. Then you should simplify it again. Negative 48 times 2 is negative 96. 2x minus 5 to the power of negative 4. Then you substitute the value of x equivalent to 1 into this equation. Okay, so then you can just put it inside of your calculator. 2 minus 5 to the power of negative 4. So you should get negative 32 over 27. Okay, simple. All right. So 16 and 17 is similar. So you guys can try and do it on your own. Okay, simple steps. Okay, and now let's proceed with question 18. So given that y is equivalent to x cubed plus 6x squared, find the coordinates of the turning point. So we are required to find the coordinates of the turning point. Okay, determine whether the turning point is maximum or minimum. All right, fair enough. Find the coordinates of the turning point. So turning point, critical point, maximum point, minimum point. Okay, all of that you have to do dy over dx is equivalent to 0. Then you have to do dy over dx equivalent to 0. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to make our dy over dx equivalent to 0. So dy over dx is equivalent to x cubed, which is 3x squared. Okay, when we differentiate it, plus with 12x. Okay, 3x squared plus 12x. Okay, 3x squared plus 12x. Then we have to make it equivalent to 0. Now, when we make it equivalent to 0, we have 3x squared plus 12x. We have to factorize this. Okay, we have to factorize this. So 3x x plus 4 equivalent to 0. Make sense? Yes. So 3x, so you have x equivalent to 0. Your first value of x is equivalent to 0, and your second value of x is equivalent to negative 4. Okay, then you have to find your y value. So y value is just substituting the value over here. So y equivalent to 6 cubed plus 6x squared. Your y1, when you substitute x, you would get 0. And then for your y2, when you substitute the value, you should get negative 4 cubed plus 6 times 4 square, negative 4 square. Okay. Plus 6 times negative 4 square. So you should get 32 over here. You should get 32. So these are the two coordinates, 0, 0, and negative 4, 32. Okay, so this is for the first question. For the second question, they require us to determine whether your turning point is maximum or minimum. Now, how do you do this? In order for you to do this, you have to differentiate one more time. So the dy over dx, this one, 3x squared plus 12x, you differentiate it one more time. So differentiating it one more time, d square y over dx square equivalent to 6x plus 12. Okay, what's next? Now, you have two value of x equivalent to 0 and x equivalent to negative 4. So you substitute the first value, 0, 0. So d square y over dx square, you should get 6 times 0 plus 12. So you get 12. And then for the second one, it is negative 4, 32. So d square y over dx square equivalent to 6 times negative 4 plus 12. So this one, you get negative 12. Okay, guys. If d square y over dx square is greater than 0, then the point is minimum. Okay, minimum. Right, this is important. You guys need to know this. If d square y over dx square is less than 0, point is maximum. Now, this over here, when you substitute 0, 0, you get a positive value. Therefore, 0.00 is minimum point. When you substitute negative 432 into d square y over dx square, you get a negative value. So this shows that the point is a maximum point. Okay, do you guys understand? So this is how you can determine whether a point is maximum or minimum. So you first of all, you find your dy dx, then you find the coordinate from dy over dx, just like what we did over here. So we got 0, 0 and negative 432. Then what we did is that we determine it by differentiating the dy over dx one more time. And we substitute the values that we have got from A. Okay. Okay, so I hope you guys understand for question number 18. All right. Okay, so question number 8 done. And this one is just a repetition. And yep, we are done for the first paper. Okay, we are done for the first paper. Habis dah paper number 1. So technically, that is what you need to know for the first one, right? For the first section lah, section number 1. So section number 1 is quite simple. It's nothing that much, but if you don't understand the basics, it will be hard. Susah kan kalau tak faham basics. Okay, if you understand the basic, then this would be a piece of cake. Adalah soalan yang susah-susah. There's a few questions that's quite difficult, but in general, it is easy to understand lah. Okay, it is easy to understand, and it is easy to be done if you know the basic and if you know the fundamental. Now, before we proceed with the second paper, do you have anything that you want to ask regarding to this question, or are there any questions that you want me to revisit back again and rediscuss it for now?
So can
Yes.
for question 18 too, can for A we get 2 coordinates.
Yes.
So the 2 coordinates, and for B it asks to determine whether it's maximum or minimum. And then we have 2. So means we have 2 answers. So one is minimum, one is maximum.
Yes, we have two answers.
I see.
So nanti you punya final answer for B, you can say 0, 0 is the minimum point, negative 432 is the maximum point. So there will be two statements that you have to clarify at the end of the calculation. Okay, remember, sometimes some questions they require you to clarify. Okay, some questions they will ask you like, okay, they will ask you something like this. They will ask you determine whether the X value is suitable or not. So after you have done all of the calculation, you have to say, oh, okay, the X value is suitable because X is greater than 5, for example. Okay, there must be a statement at the end of the question, okay, to answer the question. At the end of your answer, mesti ada statement to answer the question. Alright, so we are done with 18 and we are done with the first paper. Emily, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
No, sir.
Okay. Alright, let's take a break for 1 minute. Okay, and then we shall proceed with this paper 2 question. Paper 2 is slightly longer lah. Okay, breathe in, breathe out. 421, we'll start with question number 2. Maybe we can try and do one question or another one more question. Then the next day, the next class we'll do the rest. Okay. Let me let's breathe in for a while. And for 21, we will begin with paper 2. All right. Okay, so now that we have taken a short break, let's proceed with question number 1. Okay, this is in the kertas 2. Kertas 2 is slightly longer. The questions are slightly longer, slightly difficult, contains more marks. All right. So the first one is differentiate x cubed 2x plus 1 to the power of 4 with respect to x and find the value of h and the value of k. So let me just, do this. Yeah. Yeah. We will put it in a different paper so that we have ample of space for us to write down. Okay. Differentiate x cubed plus 2x plus 1 to the power of 4. Now, in order for us to solve this question, we have to use the product rule. Okay, we have to use the product rule. So to do the product rule, you have to determine your u and your v. So your u is x cubed and your v is equivalent to 2x plus 1 to the power of 4. Now, differentiate u, you should get 3x squared. And you differentiate v, you should get 4 times 2x plus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3 times with 2. Okay, the 2 you get from differentiating what is inside of the bracket. So v prime is just 8 2x plus 1 to the power of 3. Okay, now to do the product rule, dy over dx is equivalent to u times with v prime plus v times with u prime. Okay, that's the product rule. Product rule. So the product rule is just u v prime plus v u prime. So u v prime is just 8 times with x cubed multiply with 2x plus 1 to the power of 3 plus with v u prime is just 3x squared 2x plus 1 to the power of 4. Okay, this is slightly difficult, kan? So we have to simplify. So how can we simplify this? All right, simplify, you see this is x squared. So we can cabut x squared, we can take out x squared. And we can also take out 2x plus 1 to the power of 3. So here it will become 8x. Right, here it will become 8x plus with 2x plus 1. Okay, 8x plus 2x plus 1. Now you can simplify this much more further. You get x squared 2x plus 1 to the power of 3 10x plus 1. This is also fine. Okay, and this is how you get your product rule. Okay. All right. Now, for the second question, the gradient of the curve y is equivalent to hx plus k over x squared at the point negative 1, 2 is 10. Find the value of h and the value of k. All right. So the gradient of the curve y equivalent to hx plus k over x squared at the point negative 1 over 2 is 10. Okay. All right. Now have a look at this. For b, y is equivalent to hx plus k over x squared. So you know that the dy over dx is equivalent to 10. All right. Dy over at the point negative 1, 2 is 10. Okay. Dy over dx is equivalent to 10. So let's do that. Dy over dx is equivalent to h minus, okay, 2k over x cubed. All right, you do understand kan how we do this? K x negative 2, bring negative 2 down, we get negative 2k x to the power of negative 3. So the x negative 2 minus 1, so we get negative 3 lah for the final answer. So dy over dx is equivalent to 10. So h minus 2k over x cubed. Our x cubed over here is negative 1. Equivalent to 10. Simplifying this, we get negative 2 divided by negative 1 is positive 2k. is equivalent to 10. Am I right? So this is your first equation. Okay. Now, how do we get the second equation? How do we get second equation? The second equation we can get from the coordinate itself, because it says over here, when x is equivalent to -1, y is equivalent to 2. So when you take y equivalent to hx plus k over x squared, and when you substitute the value of x, it must be equivalent to 2. Faham? Right, do you guys understand that? So the second equation you can get from using the coordinate itself. K over -1 square, and y is equivalent to 2. So 2 is equivalent to -h, k over -1, k negative h plus k lah. So it should be -h plus k. So this is your second equation, guys. Now you have simultaneous equation, h plus 2k equivalent to 10. This one is just h minus k equivalent to -2. Alright, h minus k equivalent to -2. Ni I just move everything, so I get h minus k equivalent to -2. Then we can do subtraction. Okay, so elimination. Alright, h minus h minus 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 2k minus minus k is 2k plus k, which is 3k. 2k plus k is 3k. 10 plus 2 is 12. So your k is equivalent to 4. Your h minus k equivalent to -2. So h minus 4 is equivalent to -2. So h is just 4 minus 2, which is equivalent to 2. So there you go. You get your value of h and you get your value of k. All right. Do you guys have any question? For now, I try to understand this. And that's how we do the first question. So we have the odd question for you guys to do. All right, so make sure that you guys do lah the rest of the question. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, and we shall discuss it in our next class. Okay, I think that's it for now. If you guys have any question, feel free to ask me, and I'll try to help you guys if I can. Okay.